Hey guys, this is Kamikan, and the show I'm about to talk about actually felt like it restored my soul. Like it had this rejuvenating effect on my spirit. It made me it gave me strength to keep pushing through no matter how hard things get. And that show is called When Life Gives You Tangerines. A show that I just watched, which I think came at just the perfect time in my life. I don't think I could have seen the show at any point earlier in my life and taken in its lessons as deeply as I could have at this age. It's this K-drama that I just randomly happened upon on a live stream that I just accidentally tuned into. Like I just clicked on it. I just happened to click on it on YouTube. I think it was by this creator named JD Legend who does reactions for One Piece. And I happened to click on a live stream that he was running at the time, and he just mentioned this show called he was talking to this other lady, and he was recommending this show called When Life Gives You Tangerines, this K-drama, and he was saying like, oh, every episode will make you cry buckets, and you should watch it. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be amazing. And I was just like, yeah, we'll see about that. Cause I barely cry at anything. So whenever somebody gives like the challenge for a show that might make you cry, I'm just like, no way, no shot. So I started watching it just to see like, okay, will it give me that feeling that he was describing? And I just gave it a shot. Like I just checked out the first episode. I was just like, okay, let me see if this will even hook me to invest me in the story going forward. And it did. It didn't make me cry on the first episode, but so the story is about the life of this girl named Asun, and we follow her from age 10 to 70. 70 is where we actually start the show, and then we take a flashback to 10, and then we follow her life and the life of her children and just the generations as she grows up. It's 16 episodes. It's actually split up into 4 different parts. At least that's what I heard for the release on Netflix. And it was a truly special ride. It was actually life-changing, at least for me. It actually did make me cry at different parts. Not at the ones that you would expect. The story itself is basically a slice of life story, but it weaves in conflict so well that there's always tension throughout. Like, okay, things are looking up, maybe something bad might happen. And those are the most worrying times. Like, you don't want things to end, you don't want things to get bad, but they inevitably do. And it just shows the ups and downs of life. And it's such an important story to me because while it does show the perspective of the main character Asun, she becomes a mother, and then it follows her daughter as she grows up and becomes an adult herself, and it follows her life as well, and it shows you the different like interactions between generations and what the parents who grew up in poverty went through to build the life that their children have, and how the children may take for granted everything that their parents did for them because they weren't there when certain things happened, or they didn't understand what the parents went through to give them the life that they built for them. So I felt that it was really important for me to even see the show going into the season I'm going into right now, where I'm 30. I just moved back in with my folks. This is my room since we moved in like in 2008, And this is my room that, that I moved out of to go and live where I used to live, where I just moved out of. So watching this show helped me understand my parents just that little bit more. It had the same effect as when we went on a trip back to Nigeria to see where they grew up and to see where they came from. They were so proud to show me everything that they grew up with, the life that they had out there, the life that they built. And it was such a sharp contrast to everything that was in America, everything that we built in America. Because it was like I finally understood how they could look at my chosen profession as an artist and never believe that I could make a living at it, a full-time living at it. They from the time I was little, they tried to discourage me from drawing too much or try to make it a side thing and get a real job as a as a full-time thing. And I could see, based on where they came from, how they could be as cautious as they were for me to try to make something else of my life, try to become a doctor, a lawyer, that kind of thing. And that's also where my work ethic comes from. Watching my parents go as hard as they did to give us the life that they gave us, I just wanted to go as hard as I possibly could to make my artwork into a sustainable career. I didn't want to just joke around and play around and waste the life that I had. I want to turn it into something that can create new life or sustain new life. I want to be able to create my own family one day. But everything comes down to this crucial time where I have the ability to create for as long as I possibly can with no interruptions. And that's only thanks to the fact that I've always had a decent relationship with my parents. Like it grew up a little bit strained because there was that tension between I want to be a comic artist and them wanting me to not do that. But now it's like there's more understanding between us. There's more of an understanding that I'm not playing around or I'm not messing around for fun's sake or for its own sake. I'm actually like serious about what I'm doing, and it's actually possible for me to make a living at it. People I've met over time have shown me that it is possible to make a living at doing this. So I want to show them that I can actually sustain myself and then create my own family and make my own family, so that they can see like, hey, like your boy is successful as well. And this show was just so important for me to see at this point in my life, especially the last episode, the very last episode of the story of When Life Gives You Tangerines. It's called Here's to All You've Been Through. And the two major points that made me cry, the first one was when, well, I'm not going to spoil it. You know what? I'm not going to spoil it. It's the last episode. But when a certain character left the show, I mean, like that's one of the things that happened in the last episode that made me shed a tear. But then what really made me like bawl out crying was one of the very last lines in the show, where the main character, Asun, she was talking about her life and everything she'd been through, the ups and the downs. Like she was on top of the world at some point, like, and then she was back down to, to a lower point, and then back up, and that back down, and then at the current point in her life, she was talking about like, well, it's back up, and like I'm happy again. I didn't think it was possible to be happy again, even at this age, even after all I've been through. And the thing that made me cry, like just ball out crying, to where I had to stop the show and just, take some time to just let the tears out. It was, she said, it would have been a shame to give up halfway. And at that exact moment, like this whole rush of, I don't know, motivation or sadness or anger or all the pent up emotions from trying so hard to succeed at this nebulous art career, like trying to make it in comics, the hardest thing I've ever done, something that I don't even know if I'm going to succeed tomorrow or in 30 years. It's just, it all rushed through me like all at once. It would have been a shame to give up halfway. I'm still in the middle of that battle, and that's what made me like just pour out tears. I was just like, yeah, it would have been a shame, because she finally reached her dream at the age of 70, something that she'd been dreaming about becoming since she was younger than like 10. She'd been dreaming about doing that her whole life. And the idea that success would come in just a year of hard work, or just 2 years, 3 years, maybe 5 years max of hard work, it seemed like a joke compared to the full life that she led, the children that she raised, and how she finally did succeed at her goal only after all this hell that she'd been through. And when I thought about, well, if she had given up halfway, or if I give up halfway, everything that would be lost or destroyed or completely scattered to the wind if we had given up. You know what I mean? So if you give up in the middle of your battle, in the middle of your goal, it's like you're saying to the universe, you're saying to God, like, I don't care anymore. I don't want the gifts that you've given me. It's just too tiring. And it is tiring. And I wouldn't blame anybody for wanting to give up or pivot or change directions, but because she stuck to it and pushed as far as she could for as long as she did, that's the only thing that allowed her to succeed. And I think at this age, I have to make peace with the fact that it's going to take as long as it takes. Even if I want it to come this year, next year, I can only try as hard as I possibly can. But whatever force of nature is holding back my success from me is going to hold it until I go through everything I need to do to actually be able to reach it. I can't just have it. Like, I can't just take it. I can't just get it tomorrow. I can't just become a full-time artist right now in this moment. I have to push as hard as I can for as long as I can, no matter how tired I get and no matter how much I do want to give up, which I don't, but it gets tiring after a while. And that's also in part because I see my mother trying as hard as she possibly can to keep everything afloat, to work as hard as she can to keep everything on track in the family and that kind of thing. So I look to her example. I see the work that she puts in her life, and I realize, like, hey, I can't slack at all. Like, there's not a single day where I just decide like to slack. Like, I'm always thinking about comics. I'm always thinking about how I'm gonna improve and get better and make a living at this. I'm always thinking about that. And there are times where I'm just like, okay, I do need a day to stop and do something else or take a break, or I'm gonna break. You know what I mean? Like, either you take a break or life breaks you. So there are times where I do have to take a day or two to just be like, okay, I'm not gonna do anything else. But yeah, it was just the perfect show to see going into this period of my life, and I wholeheartedly recommend it. It's of a quality that is exquisite. It's something you don't normally see in life in general, and I'm so glad I actually checked it out just to see if it would be good. It's beyond good. It's of a different quality. I don't know how else to describe it. You have to see it to believe it. 11 out of 10. 100 out of 10. It's just that good. At least for me. I also recognize that if I was much younger, like 13 or 15, I would just be like, what the hell is this? I don't need to see this crap. And I'd watch something else like JJK or something. You know, like it was the perfect, now is the perfect age for me to see something like that. Even just last year, I could have seen something like that and been like, boring. But now is that perfect time to see something like that and be able to fully take it in. And even like I'll watch it again in the future and be able to take much more from it, because I'll have my own children, I'll have my own family that I'm building and that kind of thing. And then when I watch it again, I'll be able to take even more from it. So yeah, when I was younger, I would not have been able to take it in. But at the age I am now, yeah, I can definitely take it in. But yeah, I just wanted to recommend that show so that you can cry buckets too. And I also recommend my latest webcomic, Saintly. It is a demon chase horror action comedy about two best friends who have to outrun the demon loan sharks that they borrowed from. Basically, it's like Scooby-Doo meets K-pop demon hunters without the K-pop. And the story backs the main character into a corner where she has to decide between the hard path to success or lose her soul to the lure of easy money. And we get to see the ramifications of her choice, and if she can hide this deal with the devil from her friend, or if it will tear them apart. And I hope you read my comic in the description and check out the story. It should appear in your email inbox or your spam folder if you don't see it. And that'll be all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.